Hello, everybody. Welcome here to Lower Canada and the Prog Monster. My name is Murphy, and I am the host of this show. Okay, enough of that. Anyways, I want to welcome you here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. This is a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. And we're here to do an episode of What's New. What's New? Show I do every Saturday night. The thing about it is, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do this Saturday. I had originally written down an album from a band called Babel, which was running in the gutter. And then at the last minute today, I decided I didn't want to do that one because I found it a little bit extreme, especially the lyrics, not really to my taste. So I decided to drop it for tonight. I may change my mind on it again and decided to go with an album that I had actually passed on a while back because I did some reading on it before I did it and decided it really didn't sound like something I would like. Then I decided that I listened to a couple of reviews on it from different people that I kind of think might have a good taste and have the similar taste as me. And one of them had nothing but good stuff to say about it. So I went back and I listened to the album rather than just read about it and decided I liked it quite a bit. So we're going to be doing Brass Camel and their most recent album coming out this year on April the 16th, 2025, called simply Camel. Their first album was called Brass. This one is just simply called Camel. So it was recorded at the Hipposonic Studios and the Camelot Studios. I assume both of these are in their hometown of Vancouver, BC. Yes, they're Canadian. Um, Album's about 40 minutes in length. It's a self-released label, so I'm assuming that maybe the CD isn't available. Perhaps the vinyl is. I know that you can download it offline, either on Bandcamp. I think you could listen to it on YouTube or even on what's that other one? Can't remember the name of it. But anyways, I listened to it through Bandcamp, so that was that's generally the venue I like to go to when I listen to it, or YouTube, one of the other two. And so you can find it there, and you can purchase it fairly cheaply too, I think. Um, and of course, it was produced by Brass Camel as well. So the members of Brass Camel are, or as they say, Brass Camel is Daniel Schweinson, uh, electric guitars and vocals, Curtis Arsenault, bass and vocals, Aubrey Elphison, keyboards and vocals, Wyatt Gilson, drums and percussion, and Dylan LeMay on electric guitar. So, very interesting album. So, I'll give you the kind of overview of it and then kind of break the songs down a bit. So, I found this to be, it has its definite prog elements to it. Very proggy, very complex in a lot of ways, but not in the kind of way that you might normally come to expect heavier kind of prog music to be. This has a huge kind of funky feel to it. Funk, groove, definitely groove oriented music for sure. Funk, there's a little bit of soul in here. Um, Very up tempo album, very complex. They like to meld a whole bunch of sounds together, uh, almost not too dissimilar from Gentle Giant's way of mixing stuff together too. Very, very similar to that, but much more heavier. The production is much better, and the overall sound is more of a funky kind of groovy sound to it. If I don't know if any of that makes sense, but it certainly, even though that kind of stuff in the past would have kind of put me off on this particular thing, I think that it's quite well done. It's really the complexity is you know over the top shelf for sure. Anyways, there are 6 tracks in total with the bookends, the top two first and last track being much proggier, also much longer. And both of them are over 11 minutes. And then you've got 4 shorter tracks in the middle, kind of not too dissimilar from what they did on um, the Pink Floyd album with Echoes on it, which also is eluding me right now. I think maybe I better get my brain checked. I'm starting to be eluded by a lot of stuff. Anyways, really good, um, really strong album. The opening track, probably my favorite on the album. It's got some very heavy, detailed guitar and riffing going on here. Keyboard synthesizers also dominate. Both are kind of forward in the mix here. It's got some intricate, catchy opening, very epic sounding, larger than life, I guess, maybe the word you might want to use. It's the guitar parts at time are slow, melodic guitar part, and lots of soloing throughout the complex complex complexity of the album is got a lot of solo stuff through it. That's what I'm trying to say. Vocals can be a bit harsh, bit on the high range. He's really rasping it out here, I think. They do use quite a bit of that multi-vocal sounds throughout, giving it almost a Styx or Queen-like feel to it at times. Um, Lots of energy, very complex, really good, I think, very good. Almost a Rush. Uh, this particular song has almost a Rush YYZ feel to it. It doesn't really sound like it at all, but it definitely has that feel. It's that kind of complexity that Rush is known for. The solo was pretty fast and very complex. I thought it was really well done. Great song. Zealot is the name of it. The second track is Pick of the Litter. This one I liked a little bit less, but still liked it. This is the first of like 4 kind of different progressive sounds. Kind of a funky opening. The vocals are high in the registry. Catchy riff. The drums are top notch. Not just on this song, but throughout the entire album, really. Um, the guitar, very beefy, heavy, catchy as hell. There's a spoken part. It's not really spoken, it's kind of a sung spoken part, if that makes any sense. But it's very deep and husky sounding, very different from the other vocal on the particular track. There's some really well crafted keyboard and synthesizer mixes going on throughout this track as well. I like that kind of multi layered vocal part that they do on this song, really catchy. And then the solo was catchy and a nice use of the keyboards to kind of back it up here. Next song out is called Chain Reaction. Another good, strong song. Another fast tempoed, up tempoed song. Very complex. The vocals again in the high range. Almost Styx like here with the multi vocal parts put in. The guitar part, which is quite heavy, very Aerosmith remnant of those catchy kind of beefy guitar licks that Aerosmith is known for. Keyboards and synthesizer sound give a nice tie together, tying the back and the front together. And then the funky part mid song is really catchy. So that would have been probably side 1 on the vinyl. I believe that's what they label it as, side 1 on the vinyl. Um, the second side starts out with the song On the Other Side, very funky, another up tempo. Um, it's a little bit of a crazy track. It's kind of all over the place a bit. Um, the vocals are more mainstream like, so they're down a little, not so high in the registry, but it's catchy, and the backing vocals also very catchy here. I would almost call this a funky, heavy pop track with some heavy guitar in it. Um, the solo is strong with some very heavy bass part kind of accompanying it as well. This is a good track. Probably my least favorite of the tracks on the album, though. So we're going to skip up here to the longest song. This one also came with a video, Borrowed Time. Video was kind of weird. They were using 16th century musician faces, the wigs and the Mozart-like theme what I would call classical or medieval sound um, characters, but the song was nothing like that at all. Kind of a heavy, beefy, catchy riff. The vocals again, very strong, very high in the registry, and but definitely mainstream sounding. Um, this one I kind of think would kind of went a little further funky, almost a boogie tune at times. Definitely hard rock track. This is something that Kansas did quite a bit of, that boogie kind of rock stuff. They throw one or two of those in on their album. Um, Bluesy, funky, really catchy track. It's got a nice heavy distorted guitar solo too, which kind of added to the mix altogether. And the last track on the album, Another Day. This is another track, probably my second favorite on the. I didn't like it quite as much as the opening track, but I still liked it quite a bit. It starts out kind of slow with a kind of chime or bell opening. Um, and it's almost like you're at the beach. You could hear beach noises in the background, a little bit of waves here, a little bit of people. I didn't hear any seagulls though. um, this has got a heavy vocal part forward in the mix, very high end as well. The slow parts are keyboard synthesizer dominated. It's almost like they're kind of trying to create a slower, more melodic feel to it. Um, the drum and bass part is very complex. They go together very well. Nice mix there. It's got a fast paced piano part we just like steamrolling with this synthesizer filler at the back. A deep kind of synthesizer filler, yeah. And then you've got this heavy, catchy guitar back filler on the you can hear it in the back. He's soloing, but it's kind of backward in the mix. It's not forward. And then you got a nice keyboard solo, another really fast one, complex arrangement, very Rush like, I think, here as well. So the first track and the last track kind of in their complexity feel kind of Rush like. So that's it for the album. Brass. The album's called is called Camel, and it's by Brass Camel, a Canadian band from the West Coast, Vancouver, I believe. Pretty good. I'm glad actually I overcame my reluctance. Sometimes I'll read through a list of albums that I think are potentially ones I want to do, and I dismiss them upon the reading and say, nah, I don't really want to get into that, or I don't really like that. But sometimes when you read people's description of it, doesn't really um, come across in reality the same way it does in reading. Yeah, all the things they said were true, but these guys mixed it really well, so it really didn't come across the way I felt it was going to come across. So that's why I chose to do them today. I'm happy this was a little bit older from like back in April, but I wanted to get it in. So there you have it. Today's What's New featuring Brass Camel and their debut or their second album, sorry, called just simply Camel. So, anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to make any comments about the band, about the album, or about anything I've said, you can do that in the comment section below. You can find this album on Bandcamp. I think it's available electronically, but maybe not on disc. Maybe available on vinyl as well. So, anyways, we will see you next week for another episode of What's New. So, have yourself a good evening and goodbye.